Have you ever looked in the mirror and wondered when exactly you stopped feeling like yourself? You're still the same man, still strong, still wise, still full of stories and lessons. But quietly, something began to fade. Not all at once, but slowly. The spark, the confidence, that deeply rooted sense of manhood. You eat well. You take your vitamins. Maybe you even exercise a little, but your erections? Not what they used to be. The fire feels dimmer. The desire comes less often. And even when it's there, your body doesn't always respond. Now, here's what most men over 60 don't realize, and no one tells you this at your routine checkups. The solution to this slow fading? It might not be in a prescription bottle. It might be sitting in your kitchen right now. I'm Dr. James Rowen. For over 30 years, I've worked in the field of urology, men's hormone therapy, and sexual health. I've seen thousands of men walk into my office defeated by frustration, confusion, and silent shame. But I've also seen them walk out feeling stronger, more grounded, and more alive without relying on harsh medications or quick fix supplements. So what's the secret? Two humble ingredients: ginger and garlic. Yes, those same aromatic additions to your soup or stir-fry carry powerful, science-backed benefits for blood flow, hormone balance, nerve function, and more. And in this article, I'll walk you through 10 life-changing ways ginger and garlic can reignite your erections, your desire, and your confidence as a man over 60. Stick with me until the end because the final benefit is not just physical, it's emotional. It's about feeling like yourself again. And if this message speaks to you, I invite you to follow this channel, tap the notification bell, and become part of a growing community of men reclaiming their vitality naturally. Let's begin. 1. Ginger and garlic restore blood flow where it matters most. There's one truth every man over 60 needs to understand. It's this: erections aren't about desire. They're about blood flow. In my years of clinical practice, I've seen this pattern time and again. A man comes in worried. He says, "Doc, I still feel the urge. I still want to connect, but I'm not as firm. Things don't happen like they used to." It's not a failure of masculinity, it's a failure of circulation. After age 60, your blood vessels begin to stiffen, your arteries narrow, and blood flow to the most sensitive parts of your body starts to decline. You might not notice it when walking, but you notice it in the bedroom. That's where ginger and garlic shine. Both are natural vasodilators, meaning they help relax and expand your blood vessels. Garlic contains a compound called allicin, which improves the flexibility of your arteries and enhances oxygenated blood flow. Ginger, on the other hand, reduces blood pressure and promotes microcirculation, especially to the tiny capillaries that supply your lower body. Used together like in a warm tea or added to your evening meal, these two roots act like a gentle wave, flushing fresh, rich blood through your pelvic region, restoring firmness and natural function. I had a patient, George, a 67-year-old Navy veteran who started every morning with a simple ginger garlic tea. After a month, he told me with a sheepish grin, "Doc, I'm waking up with something I haven't felt in years. This is not a magic trick. It's the body remembering what it's capable of once it gets the right support." 2. They boost nitric oxide, the chemical switch that triggers erection. You can have perfect blood vessels, healthy arteries, and still struggle with erections. Why? Because your body may not be sending the right signal. That signal is nitric oxide, the molecule that triggers the chain reaction for an erection. When nitric oxide is released, it tells your blood vessels to open wide and let the blood in. But here's the catch: by the time you reach your 60s, nitric oxide production can drop by more than 50. That's why men say, "I want to, but my body won't respond." It's not psychological, it's biochemical. Both ginger and garlic have been shown in studies to support nitric oxide production. Garlic improves bioavailability by reducing inflammation in your vessel walls. Ginger enhances the endothelial lining of your arteries, the part responsible for releasing nitric oxide. In short, they help your body remember how to respond. Tom, a 72-year-old electrician, once asked me, "Doc, do I still make nitric oxide?" After 3 weeks of adding ginger and garlic to his dinners and sipping tea in the evenings, he came back with a sparkle in his eye. "Doc, something's waking up." That something was his body's forgotten ability to respond. 3. They support natural testosterone production. Most men assume low testosterone hits like a lightning bolt. One day you're fine. The next, you're tired, uninterested, or simply flat. But in reality, testosterone decline happens like a slow leak. At first, you're just a little more tired, then less motivated. Eventually, your drive, physical and emotional, starts to fade. You feel less like yourself, less like a man. Ginger and garlic step in here, not just as kitchen ingredients, but as hormonal allies. Ginger has been shown to support the health of Leydig cells, the exact cells in your testes responsible for producing testosterone. It also lowers oxidative stress, which can damage those cells over time. Garlic works on a different front, lowering cortisol, your stress hormone. Why does that matter? Because high cortisol suppresses testosterone like a weight pressing down on your entire hormonal system. One of my patients, Richard, 65, a retired school principal, came to me not because of dysfunction, but because he didn't feel like himself. Sure enough, his testosterone was low, not dangerously, but low enough to affect his spark. We didn't jump to injections. Instead, we added raw garlic to his meals, fresh ginger tea before bed, and encouraged stress management. Within a month, he stood straighter, smiled more, and one day said, "Doc, I feel like me again." That's the quiet power of hormonal balance, restoring the man you've always been. 4. They improve prostate health and reduce nighttime urination. Every man over 60 knows the routine: up at a.m., then again at 3. The constant urge, the dribble, the pressure. It's not pain, it's exhaustion. Your prostate, that walnut-sized gland, is likely swollen or inflamed, and it's quietly stealing your sleep and your peace. Medications help, sure, but often at the cost of brain fog, low libido, or side effects men don't talk about. That's where ginger and garlic shine once more. Garlic contains sulfur compounds that reduce swelling and protect delicate prostate tissue from oxidative damage. Ginger's gingerols and shogalls are powerful anti-inflammatories that target the lower pelvis and help relieve pressure, improve flow, and reduce nighttime interruptions. I'll never forget Gerald, a 66-year-old retired firefighter who sat across from me with heavy eyes. "Doc, I'm not in pain, but this wears me down." We added crushed garlic to his dinners, grated ginger into tea, and within weeks, he came back and said, "Doc, I slept through the night twice." It wasn't just sleep, it was restoration. And it began with food. 5. They reduce inflammation in the penis and pelvic region. Alan was 68, a carpenter with calloused hands and quiet dignity. He came in one day and said, "Doc, I'm not in pain, but it feels off, dull, swollen, like there's pressure I can't shake." Labs were normal, blood work clean, but I knew what it was: chronic low-grade inflammation, a hidden culprit in pelvic discomfort, loss of sensation, and poor performance. This inflammation doesn't show on X-rays, but it builds in the tissues of the penis, prostate, and pelvic floor. Slowly, it deadens response, dampens arousal, and chips away at confidence. Ginger and garlic work like internal fire extinguishers. Ginger calms inflammatory markers and restores tissue flexibility. Garlic, rich in eugenol and allicin, quiets irritation and improves pelvic blood flow. Alan started with a warm ginger garlic tea daily. No drastic changes, just consistency. A month later, he leaned back in my chair and said, "Doc, I didn't realize how tight I was until it eased. I feel clear again." That's the power of calming the body. Clarity, confidence, and connection return. 6. They restore nerve sensitivity and heighten pleasure. Harold, 71, had been married for 40 years. One day, in my office, he whispered, "Doc, I can still perform sometimes, but I don't feel much. I'm there, but not really there." That hit me, because this is something no one warns you about. As men age, nerve sensitivity declines, blood flow slows, inflammation rises, and the tiny nerves that carry pleasure signals from your pelvis to your brain begin to fade. Ginger and garlic can help wake those nerves back up. Ginger improves circulation to nerve endings, oxygenating tissue that's been asleep. Garlic helps reduce oxidative damage and restore healthy signaling. We kept Harold on his tea routine, but added a topical ritual. Clove oil, a cousin of garlic mixed with coconut oil, gently massaged into his lower abdomen and thighs. A month later, he smiled and said, "Doc, I feel present again. Not just physically, but emotionally." That's what nerve healing does. It brings you back into your body and back into intimacy. 7. They reignite libido and emotional. Desiree Victor, 69, sat across from me, his voice barely above a whisper. "Doc, I love my wife, still find her beautiful, but the want, it's gone." This wasn't about performance. It was about desire, emotional, passionate, real. Libido isn't just testosterone. It's brain chemistry. It's connection. It's feeling alive in your own skin. Ginger supports serotonin, lifting mood and emotional readiness. Garlic enhances dopamine, the brain's reward signal tied to pleasure and arousal. Victor began sipping tea with his wife each evening. No screens, no distractions, just a moment. And slowly, something returned, not obligation, but genuine desire. He told me, "Doc, I didn't just feel like being close. I wanted to, and it felt real." That's the spark we all want, not just sex, but soul-level connection. They regulate blood pressure and protect the heart. Robert, 7, recently remarried, came in glowing. "Doc," he said, "everything's good, until the moment comes. Then my heart races, and nothing happens." We checked his vitals, his blood pressure was sky high. Here's the truth. The penis is a pressure-sensitive organ. Without stable blood pressure and healthy arteries, erections suffer no matter how strong the desire. Garlic lowers systolic and diastolic pressure, easing vessel tension. Ginger thins the blood slightly, improving flow and reducing heart strain. After 2 weeks of tea and reduced salt intake, Robert's numbers improved, and so did his confidence. "Doc," he said, "I feel like my body's finally working with me." Because when your heart is calm, your body performs better in every way. 9. They improve sleep, the hidden key to sexual health. Samuel, 74, wasn't worried about performance. He was worried about energy. "I wake up more tired than I go to bed," he said. "And when I'm this tired, everything else falls apart." And he was right. Sleep is the quiet foundation of male health. During deep sleep, your body restores hormones, rebuilds blood vessels, and regulates nitric oxide. Ginger reduces nighttime cortisol, spikes, calming inflammation. Garlic supports melatonin and the parasympathetic system, preparing you for deep rest. Samuel began sipping tea 45 minutes before bed. After 3 weeks, he returned and said, "Doc, I didn't know how bad my sleep was until I finally slept." Sleep restored his energy, his clarity, and his performance followed. 10. They help you feel like a man. Agan Charles, 73, me in the eye and said words I'll never forget. "Doc, I'm not depressed, but I don't feel like me anymore." He wasn't talking about dysfunction. He was talking about identity, the quiet erosion of presence, strength, and grounded masculinity. Ginger and garlic, when used daily, don't just restore blood flow or hormones. They restore wholeness. Ginger lifts clarity, energy, and internal fire. Garlic softens stress, heals inflammation, and balances hormones. Charles started his mornings with ginger garlic tea. He added them to meals. Nothing dramatic, just intention. 3 months later, he returned, shook my hand with confidence, and said, "Doc, I feel like myself again." That's what this journey is about. Not youth, but vitality, presence, power. Conclusion: 1 cup at a time. And a man reborn after decades of working with men over 60. I've learned one simple truth. You're not looking for miracles. You're looking to feel like yourself again. To feel steady, present, alive. Ginger and garlic aren't magic. They're not exotic. But when used with consistency and purpose, they become medicine for your blood, your hormones, your nerves, and your soul. We've talked about blood flow nitric, oxide testosterone relief inflammation repair desireless health hand, most of all, identity, and it all starts with something small, a cup of warm tea, a clove of garlic in your soup, a slice of ginger at your table. These choices aren't just about health. They're about saying to your body, still care, I still want to feel alive. So start small, stay consistent. Let nature remind you of who you've always been. If this article spoke to you, please share it, comment below, and subscribe to the channel. You're not alone. You're not past your prime. You're just getting started to rise again from the inside out.